holders of churches. Now, when this is the attitude of humans towards a crime which influences the quality of life on earth and which challenges the very means which were provided to man for the continuity of human race, this is the issue which people ignore in contemplating on the question of AIDS and what should be the punishment. Sexual pleasures which man enjoys were granted to him through evolution for the sake of continuity of species. Now, this is a philosophical question. I don't want to go into detail, but I should briefly tell you that all senses of pleasure which were granted to man and all senses of pain which are registered by the same senses as registered pleasures evolved around this central point. If anything was beneficial, life began to enjoy that until buds appeared to register those things. So sex developed with a pleasure. If it had not got that pleasure attached to it, life would be destroyed on earth. Nobody would care. So it was the pleasure which enticed life to see to it that the life here on earth continues. This developed in animals with certain taboos within their instincts. They became active only during a certain period of their life, during certain years. And then the free competition between certain types of males and certain others restricted this pursuit of pleasure to a very small area, with the result that whatever they did not interfere with the plan of life, but rather promoted it. The very best among them fathered the future generations. When it reached the stage of man, what the purpose was for the creation of sexual prepare, that was put behind his back. And the pleasure itself became the object of pursuit. So much so that at times humans before, like at the time of Lot, indulged in sexual pleasures which were non-productive. While the sex had those pleasures because of its productivity, because it was a means for the continuity of human race. So that is why a punishment was meted out to the people of Lot which was not meted out for other crimes, which may have appeared more heinous than the homosexuality. So God has always some deep philosophy to govern the Sharia, the laws, religious laws. And this is the philosophy of this religious law. Now, if this violation of the principle was punishable by God 2,000 or more or less years before, no, more, about 4,000 some years before, why should it not be punishable today?
Sorry, but it is a fact as well that HIV is not only transmittable by illegal sexual contact. I'm talking as well about...
I'm coming to that. Illegal sexual contact is certainly involved in the situation which you have mentioned. Because one partner, at least, must have violated the principles of legality, or he could not be an AIDS virus carrier. Sometimes husbands cheat on their wives, sometimes wives cheat on their husbands, and the ultimate result is the same. When the partners become jointly responsible, then when even one of the two breaks these laws, then he does not suffer for himself alone, he creates the possibility of his partner's suffering as well. This is again a law of nature. So we are dealing with this situation. the ultimate deliverance from AIDS would be the haven of chastity, which we must seek. If the societies do not emphasize the importance of chastity in human life and continue to encourage sexual crimes through their television, through the media, through the blue literature and this and that, how can they fight it out? Instead of taking up the issue involved, which is the crux of the matter, they keep on cheating the society by telling them that new drugs have been invented and new means have been invented to help the AIDS patients recover from their problems, which were previously thought to be impossible. If you read some American scientist papers, you'll see pictures of happy couples no longer suffering from AIDS because they got a new drug and new treatment which helped them out of this dilemma. But if you read the whole article, then you'll come to the reality of what happened. You read the article and that would tell you they are safe only for 2 years. AIDS has not been eradicated. It has only been suppressed. So why declare these things to create false hopes among the humans so they can go on committing more similar crimes? So, this is a moral issue. It must be taken morally.
But I as well see it on the aspect of the medical science. There are a lot of, only last year, but when we look at the medical side, there are a lot of people who have a correct moral life. I'm thinking about a sister who was married, very committed Muslim. In labor, she lost a lot of blood. She had, there was blood transfusion given, and that is how she was infected.
That's right, but there are accidents. Please sit down. They are not the rules, they are exceptions. Exceptionally, any human is liable to suffer from accidents. You are traveling from here to Birmingham, something happens, but that is not the norm of life. Accidents are not norms, they are exceptions. So such exceptions do take place in so many diseases, AIDS not being exempt from this. So here, in those areas, some people do suffer from a disease by accident. But those accidents do not become the cause of spreading the disease in the whole society. Immorality it is which is responsible for the spread of this disease. Thank you. Now I understand.
It's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock is reaching, and this is what you told me? Yes, that's right.
Hazur, we have...
You know, I would love to sit with you on and on, even the whole night. But I have other appointments, unfortunately. Because after this, people will be waiting for me in the office for this meeting or that meeting and so on and so forth. So we have to call it a day at some moment in time. So what do you suggest? Shall we answer this last question which you are holding in your hand?
Hazur, I have 2 questions.
All right. And that's all?
We have 2 questions, that's all.
That's all?
That's all, Hazur.
Okay, then
but we can
I'll sit, of course,
I can put it to the next session.
I hope those in my office will cooperate with me in this regard. Yes.
Dr. Muhammad Kuba, please.
Dr. Muhammad Tuba.
Kuba, please.
Huh?
Kuba.
Kuba, I say. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
I've read in certain historical books that the founder of Ahmadiyya claimed to be Mahdi.
That's right.
And then afterwards he claimed to be a new prophet.
Yes.
And that he claimed to be God.
No,
that's what they said.
No, they are telling lies.
And they said that the founder of the Ahmadiyya, or what they call Qadianiyya,
I understand your question.
that he
if you
advised
permit
his
me to start
supporters,
answering, if you permit me to start answering before you are finished, it will save us time. Because I know this.
Yes, yeah.
There is a lot of such false propaganda being carried out by the non-Ahmadi mullahs. You see? And of those, there are certain things which are right.
I was born Shia.
I'm telling you this.
I've never heard of Ahmadiyya.